After a nearly 8-year build, Jordan's first gen is finally ready to go to the racetrack. I'm super excited about it. He's super excited about it. But before we jump into spool-up testing, let's give away some t-shirts. So in the last video, we did a little giveaway of guessing the actual race weight of the truck. And this is with Jordan in it, fuel, nitrous, ready to go down the racetrack. The actual race weight of the vehicle ended up being 4541, which is a really impressive number for me. The funny thing is it's actually, if you take the drivers out of the equation, it's actually 20 pounds lighter than my race truck, and it still has a lot of factory features like full frame, leaf springs. It's got a heavier common rail engine in it. It's all steel, all glass, so pretty impressive number with that 4541 race weight. With that being said, I didn't specify an over or under on the t-shirt giveaway, so we're going to give away an over and an under number. So the over guess, the closest over guess, nobody guessed the exact weight, but the closest over was 4675, and that was by MP2 diesel. And then the closest under guess was 4476 by Michael Cordova. So both of you guys, I will comment on your comments back, but if you're watching this video, shoot me your information to info@getloganbuilt.com, and I'll get you guys a couple t-shirts coming that way. Now for the rest of you guys who didn't win, it's okay. You can still purchase your own Logan Built t-shirt on my website, getloganbuilt.com. So let's dive into what all went into getting Newman's truck ready to go to the track. And you saw in the last video, we did most of the work. We did all the preliminary stuff, and it was pretty much down to just doing spool-up testing. And so in this video, that's pretty much all we're gonna cover, is just getting this thing to spool up. So I like to have a good base starting point for spool-ups. I like to know if a truck is capable of spooling up on fuel. Ideally, the way that I like to do it is, if possible, get the truck to spool fuel only, and then from there, it is a lot easier to make it spool really quickly with nitrous. Luckily, in Jordan's case, with that being JP's old engine, electronics, ECM, etc., we already had a tune-up in that thing. So wasn't really a whole lot of work to do any spool-up stuff. It wasn't like we were having to communicate back and forth with any tuners. All that work had already been done before. So it was a hot, humid night, and when we were working on this thing, and I just wanted to see if it would get to the limiter on fuel, make sure that we're back where we were. The converter that we have in this thing right now is a converter that we hadn't ran for a long time. We did try it in JP's truck. It was a little tight early for the weight of his truck, but we had it laying around. We wanted to try it in Jordan's to start with it being a heavier truck. And so it hadn't been a while since we had done spool-up testing with this converter, so I just wanted to see if it would spool on fuel. Now that's obviously very lazy. That is not something that, in my opinion, you can take to a racetrack. That's not something that you're gonna be able to repeat more than once. It's gonna put a lot of heat in the converter, taking that long to spool. But that did give us a baseline to know that, yes, it will get to the limiter. On fuel only there, it made 16 pounds of boost, right around 3,100 RPM. It took a while, but it did get there. So now we can come back and introduce nitrous. Once again, because this is a already figured out combination, we already knew what jet size to start with. On JP's truck, we would run an 044 jet in the daytime, and then in nighttime or in cooler fall weather conditions or early spring, we would put an 038 in it. So this is the dead of summer. It's hot. nasty, stinky, humid air out there. So we started off with the 044 spool jet and about 900 psi bottle pressure. Really like to shoot for about 900 to 950 on race day. So anytime you're doing spool up testing, you want to make sure that you are doing the exact same thing that you're going to be doing at the racetrack. I also like to take into consideration the temperature and the humidity when you're spool up testing. So when you do go to the racetrack, obviously weather changes by the hour, much less daily. So you want to pay attention to that stuff, because as it gets hotter and more humid, it's going to take more nitrous to be able to spool in the same amount of time. As it gets cooler and less humid, it's going to take less nitrous. It actually won't take more nitrous because it'll try to backfire. So we put a 44 jet in it, 900 psi bottle pressure, is high 80s that day, about 89, is around 40 to 50% humidity. So similar conditions to what we're going to most likely be racing in the summer. And this is what we come up with. So major improvement with Nitrous on. It's pretty incredible what Nitrous will do. The logger turns on at 2 pounds of boost, and so from 2 pounds of boost till it was up on the limiter at 21 psi and 3,100 engine RPM, it was 2.5 seconds to get there. So very, very raceable, exactly how we left off with JP's truck. It's nice to be able to just get into something and pick right back up where you left off on all this stuff. It has saved Jordan a ton of time and heartache. When it comes to common rail tuning, man, there's a lot of back and forth involved if you're working out a new build. You're sending emails back and forth, you're communicating with a tuner, you're working on your tuner schedule, you're kind of handcuffed to what your tuner is capable of giving you time-wise, and just all that back and forth, it can make for weeks of spool-up testing to get to the point of where you can go to the racetrack. So fortunately for us, that's all already been figured out, and this thing is now ready to go to the racetrack. I have to say that Newman, I call him Newman, Jordan has done a great job. He's worked really hard on this truck lately. He's put a lot of hours in it. He's figuring out a ton of stuff on his own. He is accelerating at a really quick rate, and that's exciting to see in a prospecting race car driver. So we are going to go to the track with it extremely soon, this coming weekend actually. No, we will not be at the Bowling Green ODSS race. I've actually had a couple people call me and ask me if we were going to be there because they were going to go if that truck was there. I practice what I preach around here. I tell you guys all the time, don't bring untested trucks to events. Don't rush stuff to get to events. So we are going to take our own advice, and we are going to start slow. We are going to test locally, and we are going to test incrementally to get Jordan comfortable with the truck, get the truck sorted out, and that's ultimately going to lead us to more success. When we go to the track this weekend, we don't plan on going past 60 feet, and there's a good chance it's not even going to make it 60 feet. Brand new builds, there's lots of things to get sorted out. Full leaf spring truck. We don't have any information on any settings to start with on that. We're taking a good educated guess at it, but racing will teach you all kinds of things, and you don't know how to bake the cake until you know the recipe. So we're going to start off slow. We're going to figure out our recipe, get Jordan acclimated in the truck, and it's ultimately going to give us a lot better results down the road. So that's all I got for this one, guys. Thanks for playing along with the giveaway. The shirts are on the website, getloganbuilt.com. You guys that won shirts, send me info to info@getloganbuilt.com, and I'll get that stuff coming out. And for all you guys excited about Jordan's debut in his truck, be on the lookout. If everything works out, we'll have a video coming to you on Sunday about that one. Thanks, guys. Thanks for watching. If you're new here, click the like button, click the subscribe button. That's going to keep you up to date on all the new content coming out. And that's all I got, and we'll see you next time.